my darlings, I hope you're doing very, very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy, and you have your snacks and your beverages at the ready. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at a very controversial topic within the tattoo industry. This is something that gets brought up a lot, and that is tattoo artists without tattoos. Should that be a thing or should that not be a thing?
This shit's so damn embarrassing, like.
This is the type of video where we discuss both sides of the story, whether a tattoo artist should have tattoos and does that make them a good tattoo artist. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and there for tattoo artists without tattoos. This may be a bit shocking, I know. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Please weigh in. So yeah, there is a consensus that to be a tattoo artist, you have to be tattooed. Otherwise, you're not a good tattoo artist.
What's your opinion on tattoo artists that have no tattoos?
How can you implement the pain on another without knowing it yourself? To be a tattoo artist, you have to go through. It would shock me a bit to see that.
I definitely wouldn't expect that tattoo to be the softest touch. Definitely expect it to hurt.
I know a few artists that don't have tattoos. I wouldn't recommend it, but I will get it.
Yeah. If the work's great, I mean, the work's great. You might not have like a certain level of sympathy for you because they haven't gone through that pain experience. I mean, the work's good, the work's good.
The reason why I would never want to get tattooed by somebody without tattoos, and I don't think you should either, is there's a bunch of different reasons, honestly. The most common one for me is like, I've seen so many tattoo artists when I was working at a shitty street shop who had like one tattoo or no tattoos, and just like the way that they talk to their clients is just like, you have to be, you have to be better, you need to sit still. Like, there's no compassion, because how can you have compassion for somebody who's going through something that you've never gone through yourself,
Would you ever get tattooed by an artist with no tattoos?
That's a tough one. I feel like every artist should pay their dues at least once. It's kind of crazy to do this as a living and not know the type of pain that you're putting onto someone. It's hard. I think talent is talent at the end of the day, and if the artist has it, it's worthwhile to get tattooed. But personally, I don't think that I'd be able to get tattooed by someone with no tattoos. It almost seemed like I'm talking to the wrong person,
So the most popular argument as to why most people believe a tattoo artist needs to have tattoos to be a good tattoo artist is they need to know what it feels like to get tattooed so they can help their clients through getting tattooed or help ease their mind, especially nervous clients who ask questions like, what's this gonna feel like? So if a tattoo artist has never had a tattoo before, they truly do not know the feeling of being tattooed. And I feel like all of us that have tattoos can kind of vision back to when we started our tattoo journey. I feel like we all kind of predicted what getting tattooed would feel like, and I feel like some of us will be like, yeah, no, it did not feel how I thought it would feel. That's the case for me. I used to get myself so worked up before getting my first tattoo about, oh my gosh, this is gonna really, really, really hurt. This is going to be the worst pain I ever feel. And yeah, getting tattooed sucks and it hurts, but it's, for the most part, a more bearable pain. Like, it's just very, very annoying. And the reason why tattoos do hurt so much is if you sit for a long period of time, it gets more and more painful because your skin gets more and more irritated. That's the case for me. Like, I could sit perfectly fine for about an hour and be like, you know what, it's not that bad. This tattoo really didn't hurt that much. But if you sit longer than an hour, it gets worse and worse and worse. It's awful, right? As someone that has never been tattooed before, you may not know that. And also, when someone hasn't had a tattoo, they don't know the difference between line work, shading, dot work, and other tattooing techniques. So for me, line work hurts way more than shading or dot work. Like, I hate line work so much. And especially with placements as well. Like, a hand tattoo for me, super painful, but a shin tattoo, perfectly fine, can sit there for hours. All of this stuff, a tattoo artist isn't gonna know unless they have experienced it themselves. And of course, a tattoo artist can have empathy and be like, well, you've been stabbed by a needle 1,000 times, so yeah, it's gonna suck. But you as a client can't really relate to a tattoo artist. You can't just sit there and, vibe with each other and be like, oh yeah, you know, shins really freaking hurt. The amount of times I've been tattooed by a tattoo artist in like a painful placement and they've been like, yeah, I know, this freaking sucks. That kind of bond is so nice. You know, that's what makes the tattoo appointment kind of bearable. You know, you're with someone that has been in the exact same seat that you have been in. The counter argument to this is where I start to play devil's advocate. There are so many other industries where the professionals are not expected to have gone through the services that they provide. For one example, cosmetic surgery, mainly with like fillers, Botox and what have you. And I will say, as someone that has had lip filler a few times in my life, anytime I've gone to get lip filler, the practitioners themselves have definitely had lip filler. You can tell when someone's had lip filler for the most part, right? But you know, there are younger people doing cosmetic surgeries now, or the practitioners or whatever, and they haven't started their cosmetic injectable journey or what have you. And I don't think they're ever held to the standard of, wow, so you haven't had Botox, that means you shouldn't be doing Botox. Do you know what I'm saying? Because obviously they're young.
How did you start tattooing?
I don't have tattoos. All my life I have been an artist. And my boyfriend wants to make a tattoo on me. He's a tattoo artist. He was like, let me do a tattoo on you. And I was like, no, let me do a tattoo on you first.
Right. You can touch it. There you go. Thank you.
My first time with a machine, I never, ever.
Thank you.
My idea was to make him cry.
And you liked it.
Then the result was good. Like,
do you think that tattoo artists have to have tattoos?
Imagine a surgery doctor. They don't need to have boobies, right? Eventually, I am not saying never because I love it, but I don't know. I am not in rush. Yeah. Let's see.
And just like this person said, you know, plastic surgeons aren't seen as bad plastic surgeons because they haven't gone through plastic surgery and they haven't healed plastic surgery. They're not being ridiculed for not knowing what that feels like. So why are tattoo artists, again, held to that same standard? The people who do cosmetic surgeries are just offering a service, as are tattoo artists. I can fully back anyone that says, well, you know, cosmetic surgeons and cosmetic nurses and whoever don't have X, Y, and Z, and they're not seen as bad. So why a tattoo artist? Like, I get that. Like, I feel like that is a good comparison. Then comes the argument about healing a tattoo. If you've never had a tattoo to heal, then you're not going to know what it feels like to heal a tattoo and look after a new tattoo, especially in the critical first week where you have to make sure it's clean, you have to really babysit it, make sure it's not in the sun. Like, it's like having a little child, you know? Well, actually not that extreme. Children take a lot more effort than, you know, a fresh tattoo. Let's be serious. But you have to be kind of vigilant and make sure you're looking after your fresh tattoo. As someone that's had a variety of tattoo styles tattooed over many years and many different placements, I know that depending on the tattoo style, what ink is used, whether it's black work, black and grey, colour, who the artist is, whether they're kind of heavy-handed or not, location on the body, determines how a tattoo is going to heal and how quickly it is going to heal. So for me, a lower black work leg tattoo takes about, I don't know, a week and a half to get over that dry itchy phase. But a solid colour saturated traditional hand tattoo, for me, this took like 2-3 weeks for me to heal. Would a tattoo artist that's never been tattooed before know this? I mean, sure, their mentor when they're going through an apprenticeship will maybe tell them that this is a factor, but unless you've lived through it and experienced it, you truly don't know, do you? You just don't know what it's like. And also, could you really trust a tattoo artist that has never been through the torturous itchy phase? Like, imagine going to a tattoo artist and they cannot relate with your frustrations of having an itchy healing tattoo. Like, what do you even talk about? Like, obviously there are so many other things you can talk about, films, TV, and what have you. Like, it's not always about tattooing when you get tattooed, that's for sure. But like, I just can't imagine not being able to discuss that with a tattoo artist. Like, that would be so foreign to me. But then again, we have the counter argument of surgeons never healing a boob job or a BBL. Like, obviously there is surgeons out there that have maybe had a boob job and a BBL, but not all of them. And again, with people that do lip filler, injectables, what do you call that stuff again? Botox. If they haven't had that themselves, does that mean that they're not a good practitioner in that field? Not really. People don't really bat an eyelid. People just walk in, get the thing, and then leave. The tattoo industry is definitely holding the professionals to a higher standard, right? Another argument is to be a tattoo artist, you have to look the part. You have to look tattooed. You have to fit in. You have to be covered head to toe in tattoos. Otherwise, you're a crap tattoo artist. Many years ago, if you had no tattoos and walked into a tattoo shop and asked for an apprenticeship, you would be laughed out. You would literally have the old school tattoo artists look at you up and down and be like, you don't even have a tattoo. Like, what are you doing here? Get out of here. Which is honestly kind of unrealistic, especially for the younger tattoo artists, the ones that are just starting out. To expect them to be covered head to toe in tattoos so young is, in my opinion, incredibly irresponsible, because you're just encouraging people to speed up their tattoo journey when, in my opinion, it should be a journey. If we're lucky, if we're all blessed, touch wood, we're here for a long time. And in my opinion, we should not be rushing our tattoo journey. I've been getting tattooed for 17 years? Hang on. Yeah. I've been getting tattooed for 17 years and I'm still not fully covered. There's still plenty of gaps going on here, there and everywhere. Like, the majority of my front is plain as day. The back of my thighs, plain as day. And, you know, I've got gaps here, there and everywhere. I could still get tattooed for the next 20 years if I really take my time and just get little gap fillers here and there. For me, being tattooed is like a journey, right? So I feel like it's incredibly toxic to expect tattoo artists to be covered head to toe in tattoos. No matter what the argument is, we shouldn't be forcing people to try and fit in to be seen as a good tattoo artist. What I will say though is a lot of clients, especially newbies within the tattoo world, do feel a lot more comforted by getting tattooed by a tattoo artist that has a lot of tattoos or visible tattoos, because you can visibly see that this tattoo artist has been through it all. If they've been through it and survived, got out the other side of their tattoo appointments, then you can too. So on this note, we're going to take a look at a TikTok video that I just featured a moment ago from someone called Loz, who is a tattoo artist.
This shit's so damn embarrassing, like.
Their comment section was honestly kind of interesting and it gave me a different insight. So here are some of the comments. One said, what about the Koreans, seen the best tattoo artists from Korea and they have no tattoos themselves? Loz said, I would argue that they're in the industry for profit rather than genuinely caring about the craft of tattooing. It's not about product of great work. So this is another factor that I feel like we need to put into this with tattoo artists not being visibly tattooed, is the fact that in some areas of the world, especially, you know, Japan, South Korea and other places where tattoos aren't like super popular or they're kind of frowned upon or what have you, I personally feel like we can't say tattoo artists from those areas are bad tattoo artists because they aren't visibly tattooed just because of the culture that they live in. Alongside tattoo artists living in areas where, you know, tattoos aren't all that accepted, you have this as well. There's a comment that says, sorry, but aren't there religious, cultural and health reasons people don't get tattoos on their own body, ink allergies, etc.? Why are we judging someone that we do not know based on their looks? And this is so freaking valid. Like, we as outsiders don't know what tattoo artists are going through, right? We can look at a tattoo artist that doesn't have any tattoos and think, ugh, poser, like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to profit off of this? But they themselves could have a health reason as to why they don't have tattoos. They could be highly allergic to pretty much any ink going into their body or what have you, or, you know, skin conditions, whatever, right? Is another factor as to why we need to be a little bit more understanding as to why tattoo artists may not be visibly tattooed. So again, this whole, like, you're a bad tattoo artist if you have no tattoos is kind of, well, it's discriminatory, right? Right? You see, like, this is me playing devil's advocate. Like, there could be reasons. We have this comment that says, I have a skin disease, so I can't get tattoos. I've tried to get rid of it for over a decade. I literally have my whole body planned, but I can't for health reasons. The artist I go to has a allergy to the ink or general the tattooing, I guess just being tattooed in general. She even showed me a big scar. Loz said, this is obviously an exceptional circumstance and that's very unfortunate for her. But again, how do we as normal human beings know if a tattoo artist is going through this themselves, right? From a first glance at someone, you see someone without a tattoo. Why is people's instant thought, oh, you're a bad tattoo artist? Judging other people for mundane things is never cute. It's not mundane though. I care deeply about the craft of tattooing, and people who clearly have no interest in the industry trying to profit off of it piss me off. I think that's what PMO stands for, right? Piss me off. I don't know. While tattoo artists sometimes make a decent amount of money, not always. Like your regular tattoo artist that doesn't have many followers on Instagram, works at your local studio down the road, really isn't out here making that much money. Like tattoos are expensive, but when you factor in the cost of everything, inks, needles, machines, cleaning stuff, equipment, furniture, literally everything else, your disposables, tattoo artists don't ever keep all the money that they are charging. Okay, so it'd be a pretty bold assumption to think that tattoo artists without tattoos don't like tattoos and just want money, you know, because the majority don't really earn that much. And every tattoo artist begins like this. It's very, 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 very rare that a tattoo artist is successful from the start, especially many years ago. Nowadays, a apprentice, if they're lucky, can go viral on TikTok or something, and they can get, you know, clients straight away. But again, the chance of that happening is pretty rare because the tattoo industry is so oversaturated. And it also just seems incredibly wild that a person would go through so much training, so much hard work within an industry that they don't like, or, you know, if they don't like tattoos. Like, that is just so bizarre to me that someone would go through an apprenticeship and not even like tattoos. I don't know, but it is possible. It is so freaking possible. I don't know. But yeah, this seems to be a pretty popular opinion as well of tattoo artists being like, hey, if you're going to be a tattoo artist and profit off of this industry, you need to be a part of it.
Another reason is, like, I find it really odd for somebody to want to profit off of a whole, like, culture of people, but they don't want to be part of it. They simply want to profit off of it.
But again, is that part of the old school toxic industry that, you know, we should try and move away from? This is so dumb and just perpetuates the asshole tattoo artist persona that everyone's been tired of for the last 50 years. Toxic gatekeeping in the tattoo scene is way too normalized. I'm 21 and I started tattooing 2 years ago. I have 5 tattoos myself. I'd rather not rush into getting stuff I might regret, even if now I don't look the part, which is what I was, you know, talking about earlier. And I fully respect this tattoo artist's wishes to not, you know, rush it. Like, they're 21, they're so young. This person said, talent over appearance. I don't think it's about the appearance. It's about knowing what your clients go through when you tattoo them and how it feels to be on the other side. Plus, do you really love tattoos if you don't want them on you? You don't have to have tattoos to love them. Also, plenty of jobs that involve doing things you never went through yourself. Not having tattoos doesn't make you bad or less valid tattoo artist. No, you're right, it doesn't. I just think she means it could seem like they're less passionate and getting tattooed helps empathizing with clients better. Now, if your portfolio is fire, I don't care what you look like. If the artist is talented, he's talented, end of story. I don't care about her, him being inked or not. Now, I feel like the younger generation are very much like, I don't care. Like, just give me the tattoo. I don't care what you look like. I just want the tattoo. I want to go home. Like, it's not that deep. While I feel like the older generation are just like, oh, no, no, no. If you're a tattoo artist with no tattoos, no bueno. I don't want anything to do with you. You're a bad tattoo artist. I think it depends how you view the tattoo industry, though, to be honest. Like, some of these younger people may just be the type of person to walk into a tattoo studio, get a Pinterest tattoo and just walk out. There's people like me and you that love tattoos and the community in the industry that may view things a little bit differently and be like, yeah, like, I understand why people think tattoo artists need to have tattoos. So there's this TikTok from a tattoo artist named Zachary where he asked tattoo clients if they would ever be tattooed by a tattoo artist without tattoos.
As a tattooer, I have some thoughts, but I want to know from a client's perspective. Would you get tattooed by a tattooer who had no visible tattoos? If so, why? And also, if not, why?
Now, the comment section for this is pretty interesting. One person said, if I knew ahead of time, no. It makes me feel like they think they're better than me almost. Like, if you think your body looks better without tattoos, why would you tattoo other people? Now, this is a very, very, very valid concern. And it's not something I've ever thought about myself either. I just thought, oh, if a tattoo artist doesn't have tattoos, they can't for, you know, medical reasons like I've discussed, or they're planning out a whole bodysuit and they haven't committed yet, or they're saving up for it. Like, there's so many reasons as to why a tattoo artist may not have tattoos or visible tattoos. Sometimes people are tattooed and we just cannot see it. Personally, no, it's hard to feel like someone fully appreciates the permanence of a tattoo if they haven't experienced that themselves, which is true. A untattooed person really doesn't understand the the thought process of, you know, deciding on something so permanent on your body. But then the counter argument for this is they do understand, and that's why they haven't committed to anything, because they just can't commit. They're just like, I can't, like, the pressure is too much, you see? Like, there's counter arguments everywhere here. No, if they have no visible tattoos, I would assume they have no tattoos at all. I don't want someone running a needle through my skin who doesn't know what it feels like and how painful it can be. No, I want to get tattooed by someone who loves the culture of tattoos, tattooing, getting tattooed, not someone who is just good at art. Part of what makes me trust my tattoo artist who's working on my back piece is that he shared what the experience was like for him, both getting tattooed and healing, which again, I can understand is very, very helpful. But also, should we expect every tattoo artist to have every placement tattooed ever? Should we expect, you know, again, tattoo artists to be covered to be a good tattoo artist? Doesn't seem realistic to me. So you might go to a tattoo artist that is doing a hand tattoo on you. They don't have any hand tattoos. So does that make them less of a tattoo artist, even though they've got tattoos elsewhere? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what is the perfect tattooed tattoo artist? Yes, just like I would allow a bald hairstylist to do my hair, your work speaks for itself, and as a black woman, I don't judge people based off of appearances, which is a very, very valid comment to me. Would you get your hair done by a bald hairstylist? I think I would. I'm making an appointment based on someone's Instagram post of their work. Sometimes I'd look to see who they follow or try and get a scope of their political views, but how they look isn't something I'm concerned with. If I showed up to my appointment and saw they have no tattoos, I wouldn't be cancelling my appointment. This is, to me, a 10 out of 10 comment. I'd much prefer to get tattooed by a tattoo artist with no tattoos who's a decent human being than get tattooed by a tattoo artist that is covered in tattoos that is just the human equivalent of trash. You know, like someone that's homophobic, transphobic, racist, misogynistic, like just a garbage human. Like, I feel like we could all maybe agree on that, right? Hopefully, right? Like, I feel like I know my audience, and I feel like you can all agree with me on that. Like, oh, it is literally my worst fear, being tattooed by someone that is just like far right trash. Now, with all of this being said, for me, it's not a deciding factor of whether I get tattooed by a tattoo artist or not. It's honestly not something I've ever really thought about. I'm going to be so honest. I'm way more concerned with the final results. I don't really care who's tattooing me and what they look like, as long as they have good views, you know, again, they're not like far right or whatever, and they can pull a decent line, do some decent shading, have some good saturation, do the kind of tattoos I like. That's all that matters to me at the end of the day. But that being said, the majority of tattoo artists I've been tattooed by have at least a few tattoos. I've only actually ever been tattooed by one tattoo artist with 0 tattoos, and I didn't even know until I got my second tattoo done by this artist. Now, this tattoo artist actually isn't tattooing anymore. His name was Sam. So he did this tattoo here. It's my script tattoo in here, and then he did my Wally boot, and this is when I found out he had 0 tattoos, because he would normally wear long sleeves, so I didn't really, you know, pay it much attention. But he did this one, and when I was doing this one, the topic kind of come up of him like not having any tattoos, and the reason why is because he was like, yeah, no, I know getting tattooed sucks, like, and I respected that because it does. He was also working towards getting a back piece, which he eventually did. But yeah, this tattoo artist Sam did like one of my best script tattoos ever. Like, the fact that this tattoo is I got this when I was 19, so that's 16 years ago. Yeah, this script tattoo is 16 years old, and it's no, that can't be right. Hang on, don't let me crash out right now. Is that 16? That's 16. That's 16 years. This tattoo is 16 years old. Oh my god. Yeah, and it's still like, for a script tattoo to still be legible and this kind of precise and small, like it's like this, it's like this big, you know, is incredible. I mean, the placement does help. It's in my inner arm and what have you, but yeah, he was a decent tattoo artist. Again, he did my Wally boot. The fact that he didn't have tattoos didn't make him any less of a tattoo artist, you know? And yes, he did end up getting a back piece. And yes, he did end up not being a tattoo artist anymore because he was kind of over it. But hey, I still got pretty decent tattoos out of it. So. And I personally don't think that we should expect tattoo artists to be covered in tattoos. Again, maybe 1 or 2 just so they know what it feels like, but I personally just feel like we shouldn't, you know, expect them to be covered, especially if they're young, like I was saying. Like, being tattooed should be a journey. We shouldn't be encouraging people to, you know, rush through things. This is how tattoo regrets happen. And I don't think a tattoo artist having no tattoos means that they're a bad tattoo artist. Like, again, they could be incredibly talented with what they do. They just will never understand what it feels like to get tattooed or what it feels like to heal a tattoo. And of course, people can have empathy. I'd hope that these types of tattoo artists would be empathetic, of course, but I feel like it is very helpful for tattoo artists to at least experience it once or twice going through the tattooing process. I do understand that the majority of tattoo clients would prefer to be tattooed by heavily tattooed tattoo artists. Like, I get it. Like, I understand why people have the view of, to be a good tattoo artist, you have to be tattooed. But I also feel like we need to get rid of gatekeeping within the tattoo industry when it comes to something like this. I'm gonna get so much hate for this, I know. There's gonna be a few tattoo artists that are gonna be pissed at me for saying this, but again, there are some reasons as to why a tattoo artist might not have tattoos, and we can't judge people at face value. You know, I'd feel like it'd be incredibly shitty to be a tattoo artist with health issues, have another, you know, seasoned old school tattoo artist come at you being like, oh, you're not even tattooed, you're a crap tattoo artist. And then you're just like, well, I don't have tattoos because, like, I'm unwell, like my body doesn't allow it. You know, like, that's just really shitty for someone to have to, like, explain themselves over and over again, because I'm sure they would get it a lot. So yeah, I personally will never be mad at a tattoo artist for not having tattoos, because there could be reasons. I don't know. As long as the tattoo artist is decent, kind, nice, loving towards their clients, and, you know, tries to give the best service that they most possibly can, we can't be mad at that, because there are so many heavily tattooed tattoo artists out here that are absolute assholes. Absolute assholes. I've covered so many across my channel as of late. You know, like the predators, the scammers. Like, come on. Let the nice ones have some space, please. Let's get rid of the toxic ones and give space to those that, yeah, sure, don't have tattoos, but they might be the best tattoo artists you'll ever come across. What I will say, though, is I am a massive hypocrite when it comes to this, because I hate the tech bros, the multi-millionaires that are trying to infiltrate the tattoo world because they could make a lot of money from it, and they have 0 tattoos. For me, no, get out. Because the thing is, these people have very ill intentions when it comes to infiltrating the tattoo industry, in my opinion. Like, they just want to make their money. They don't care about the tattoo industry. I feel like the tattoo artists with no tattoos at least care a little bit to, you know, put all their blood, sweat and tears into learning to be a tattoo artist. Like, they care a little bit at least, but these freaking millionaire tech bros, oh my god, no. Yeah, you're the devil for having no tattoos and trying to, you know, infiltrate this world. Anyway, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on this topic. Are you strictly, I will only ever get tattooed by heavily tattooed tattoo artists? Or are you a, I don't care, just give me the tattoo and let me go home kind of person? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. And yeah, that's it for today's video. I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all so, so much. And until my next one, bye!